In this tutorial, I'll show you how to build a secure and privacy-focused DNS server at home using Pi-hole, Unbound, and Docker. Pi-hole works as a powerful network-wide ad blocker that filters DNS requests before they ever reach the internet. But instead of sending those requests to public DNS providers like Google or Cloudflare, we'll combine it with Unbound, a recursive DNS resolver. This means your DNS queries are resolved directly through the DNS root servers, improving both privacy and independence from third-party DNS services. To keep everything clean, portable, and easy to manage, we'll run the entire setup inside Docker containers. This approach makes installation simple, avoids system conflicts, and allows you to deploy or rebuild the stack in minutes. By the end of this tutorial, you'll have a self-hosted DNS server that blocks ads, increases privacy, and gives you full control over your network's DNS traffic. Let's get started. First, we download the Docker program, which allows us to create virtual containers in which we can, among other things, run Pi-hole. Make sure you download Docker from the official website. You can also find the download link in the video description. Most desktop and laptop computers with Intel or AMD processors use the AMD 64 architecture. So if you're running Docker on a typical Windows PC, Linux PC, or Mac with an Intel processor, you should download the AMD 64 version. Now we will open a PowerShell window with administrator privileges. Next, we will create folders that will contain, among other things, our configuration files. You can safely copy the PowerShell commands to create the necessary folders. However, make sure they are located directly on the partition where you installed Docker. Unbound needs a list of the official root DNS servers. Download it with this command. Now we create the Docker configuration. I've already created a Docker configuration for you. Just copy this text into Notepad. You can also find the code in the video description. Please change the password for the Pi-hole web interface here. Then click on File and on Save. In the next step, we configure the Unbound DNS resolver. Here's the same thing. I've already created the code for you. You just need to copy and paste it. Click again on File and on Save. Now we can start the entire stack. Docker will download the images and start both containers. The next command, docker compose ps, displays the current status of the containers. The list shows two running services: Pi-hole, latest for the DNS filter; Alpena-Linux Unbound, latest for the recursive DNS resolver. The status shows up, meaning both containers are running. We also see the open ports, for example, port 53 for DNS, port 8080 the Pi-hole web interface, and port 443 for HTTPS. Now we open a browser to access the Pi-hole web interface. Just copy this URL in the search bar. Enter your private password for the web interface, which we have changed earlier. Let's verify that our DNS server is working with the following command. NSLookup stands for Name Server Lookup and is a diagnostic tool that can be used to check which DNS server resolves a domain into an IP address. Server localhost shows that the request goes through our local DNS server. Address 127.0.0.1 confirms that we are not asking Google or Cloudflare, but our own server addresses. Here we see the resolved IP addresses of Google, both IPv6 and IPv4. Now we use NSLookup to check whether the address resolution also works in the Pi-hole container. Everything is going as expected. If there are still problems, please add the following firewall regulations via PowerShell. That's it for this tutorial. If you have any questions, write them in the comments. I will try to answer every question. If you liked the video or have any suggestions, please write it in the comments. Thanks for watching.
Said I made up my mind this time.